Yes. I think I have the recordings on and everything.
Fantastic. I hope he doesn't start raining too much.
Uh, yeah. So how was your day been so far? I think
Oh
it's
yeah. Going great, just getting it rolling.
Mhm.
Usual day for me to wake up, go work out, start working on my businesses, coach people, send out videos. Uh, Dream
Uh,
Team, one of my companies, we already had a workout with I think about 23 athletes on there. So yeah, it's been just,
mhm.
present with my family, same old stuff.
Yeah, that's great. So are you training the college guys lately or the NBA guys?
Really all level of athletes. It's
Mhm.
not just basketball too. It's like every kind of athlete you can imagine.
Mhm.
College, professional. I mean, I guess those are the two levels basically.
Mhm.
But yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm. So actually, I've heard your few of the beats that you sent.
Mm.
The beats that the way it goes is really great. I think it motivates me to write a little more of
Hey, let's go.
yeah, those songs. So I eventually
Music helps, huh? Music
yeah,
helps, man.
yeah, absolutely. I remember some days back when I used to like most of the time I used to listen to music while doing all the my stuff like be it professional work or day-to-day course.
Let's go.
So I have two of the short lines. I guess I think I could add more to that, but this has been few of the lines
Mm. Great writing.
I have sent you it over LinkedIn. Uh,
Okay.
I think we can.
Ooh, all right. Nice. I see you as a lyricist. I see it. See you. Good work.
I think I'll get definitely I'll get a little better at everything as I spend more and more time with it.
Oh, I mean, there's the
Mhm.
more you practice, the better you get at it, man. That's how it works.
Absolutely, sir.
Ah.
So,
Yeah, what are you thinking, man? What would make this a great project for you?
yeah, sir. I am also like putting a little more time into it, but as far as I'm keeping my professional work in check, that's the main priority right now. So it's
Right.
been a little on and off, you can say.
No, I gotcha.
Mhm. So the book you sent me last week, I went through it. I read a couple of times. Actually, I did not get the time to complete it in one go,
That's
but
all right. Yeah.
that was really insightful. And the sort of things I like read, actually, they had great values. And the way it has been narrated and step by step, the 10 chapters sort of things, like how we should go from here to the next part and to on how to keep our mind in the right state. That's been really great. So
Good.
as yeah, in the last call I think I have told you that I would like want to get some sort of like questionnaire article from this so that I can
Yeah.
publish in over there, like what through a mindset coach mind and analogy, how players should go through these things, and how other people could get benefit out of it.
Without a doubt, man. I mean, I wrote it like a playbook, and
Mhm.
it's only 50 pages long. So that took me a long time to make it that simple. And then worked with a really good artist named Shamari Smith, who's a good friend, and he did all the original artwork. So really tried to make it simple,
Mhm.
visual, practical, and just make a language that you can then go, okay, these are skills, like what's important now. The very first thing is focus on what you can control. That eliminates 99% of the stuff that people are worried about. 99. The only thing you can control is your actions and how you respond. And so we always start with that as the foundation so you don't get caught up in,
Mhm.
if we could control winning, then that would be different, but nobody can control an outcome like that. Nobody. So the foundation is actually what's actually important now, what's in my control. And then it goes to being present, play present. That's
Absolutely.
what's in your control. Like you being present in this moment, and doing that, and being where your feet are, see, breathe, be where your feet are, like really use your tools to be present. So now if you want to win,
Hmm.
guess what you have to do? You got to be present.
Yeah.
You can't be thinking about a win. That has nothing to do with right now.
Yeah.
That's like
Absolutely.
way down the future,
Hmm.
And then the third skill, next play speed.
Hmm.
Obviously, it's hard to be present. It's hard, right? Like this is our mind is everywhere, right? And so next play speed, how fast can I come back? So though to me, just those three, you just start there. And honestly, that's like a lifetime's work, with
Absolutely. Yeah.
those.
Yeah. I can see how much of detail, attention to detail has been put into it, because all the informations are like bite size. You can consume it anyway, sitting, doing
Yeah.
stuff, or on the go, on the bus or anything. And those things still gets you through what exactly it wanted to portray. And yeah,
It
what we.
just makes it so like a simple, I always tried to make it make sense for a kid.
Mhm.
If it makes sense for a kid, then I thought then, adults should be able to grasp it. But if it doesn't make sense for a 14-year-old in like 30 seconds, then first of all, you don't know your stuff very well. If you make
Absolutely.
things complex, that doesn't help anybody out.
Yeah.
So I always just wanted to make it so simple, like, man, what's important now, play present, next play speed. I'm writing my second book right now called Palms Down. And that's the opposite of doing this when
Mhm.
something, outside of your control happens and you're like, oh, and that mantra I sent you is a combination
Mhm.
of palms down and next play speed. Say, I don't react, I respond, I take a breath, and I move on, right? That's palms down.
Mhm.
And then you let go, get it back. Next play, I attack. We even put in the word tap now instead of attack sometimes. And tap is when you're in the present, what do you do? Fully trust your skills. Like that's what you do. I mean, you have to compete to trust your skills because it's scary. You in a writing context, you got to
Mhm.
trust your writing. You got to trust how
Absolutely.
you're going to write. Even if you have editors and different people, everyone's telling you things, and you're like, I still have to trust. And then the acceptance is the big one. You have to accept everything that's out of your control. And I think training and acceptance is such a big part of
Mhm.
this because we all want to control results, don't we? We all want to like make sure everything works in, our favor, but really you have to accept that. And then that allows you to be in flow as the book goes on, right? It's either, learning how to bring yourself down, finding flow, learning how to bring yourself up, getting right into that groove and the green. And I try to use colors. Like
Mhm.
sometimes we're red. It's like too tense. And so we have to see, breathe, and then just kind of be cool. And we feel aggressive, but we're going to choose our response. And sometimes when we're scared and, kind of blue and we don't even want to show up in the present, then we have to act aggressive. We have to kind of turn ourselves and turn it on and crank it within us, to get to that middle, that groove and green, like green's the green light,
Mhm.
and just go. But like I think everyone has to learn, where am I at right now? Am I a little low and I got to get up? Am I really high and I got to come down? Or am I kind of in that groove and I got to be disciplined to kind of stay in that zone, and do that. So these are feelings, right? And I try to use like the Bruce Lee stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Bruce,
I have
such
seen that.
incredible with mindset and physicality. He was just brilliant at that,
Mhm.
So, and
Like.
I mean, the artwork that Shamari Smith did is just phenomenal. Like he is just dialed in on that stuff. So the finding flow means you
Mhm.
actually have to, it's like skill work. So like say you're feeling agitated or heated
Mhm.
or you can actually close your eyes and say you visualize it as red. You can turn it blue. You can start to shift the energy. And a lot of people don't know they can shift the energy.
Mhm.
They just act on the energy. They just act on it. And if you're feeling real blue and kind of low, you can turn that into firepower. And that's one of the incredible things that we can do with our human technology. I mean, this is the greatest technology of all time.
Absolutely.
Yes, you're in India, I'm in California. Somehow we're
Mhm.
talking on a computer. Like, this is
Mhm.
amazing. But you know what invented this technology? Humans. So like, and we still don't even know how to use our own technology,
Yeah, sure.
but
Someone
we're
who.
getting
Mhm.
we're getting there.
Someone who trusted his thing that he knew and accepted his state, what he is in, and put out all the hard work. That's what get all of us to the state that we can talk across continents in real time, I guess.
I think about that. Like you're on the
Hmm.
other side of the world and we're
Hmm.
talking together. That's extraordinary. Like,
I've never thought of the days like this, to be honest.
come on, man. This is wild. I mean, I can see a plane flying above me. I'm like, airplanes.
Hmm.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
We all have these little phones right now. We can do everything on a phone. It's absolutely extraordinary.
Yeah, and it is those little things that make sense, and yet most of us ignore this going and being in a hurry to the next place. But I think we should be more content in what we have at the current point.
Yeah, we're all anxiously
Mhm,
running somewhere in the future. So if this isn't in play present, it'll be in my next book. But walk to win with lethal patience. Bring yourself back to where you are and learn to unlock the firepower here. And doesn't mean you're not motivated or driven.
mhm,
It's just where you like we're here. This is where me and you are right now. So there's no point to be anywhere else. And it's funny, the more we do this, we're
mhm.
here, the amazing things happen in your future.
For sure, that's what. So I think, yeah, let's move on to the real stuff. I've been, you can say, really excited about throughout the week when I was doing my stuff, still getting time, and I was counting days like, okay, from 4 days from
All right.
now, I'll have my off and I'll get to talk to a person who like just he has like crazy stuff for me and for everybody else.
Cool,
So
man.
yeah. So shall I shoot up the first question?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay, so while going through the book, play present, and getting through all the value and stuff, important things that it has tapped on. So I am curious about knowing this again in brief. Like those are the same techniques you use in practicality with the players you deal with, or whoever like
Yeah,
gets in contact.
absolutely. I mean, the first thing we do is we say
Mhm,
awareness activates your ability.
mhm,
So it's not like I'm actually giving anything to anyone. I'm just locking awareness inside of people. So you might say, hey, let's become aware to focus on the things we can control.
mhm,
That's where I start with every human being I work with, business, athletes, musicians, anyone, right? We go, what's in our control? And what I sense with people is they feel relief once they learn that. They're like, oh, I have been stressing myself out trying to control all these things outside. So really I'm just kind of like a teacher just passing along some awareness, and as they get the awareness it activates, right? Awareness activates the ability.
mhm,
And we go, okay, now let's practice being present, and say, I say, look at your feet, be where your feet are, find your breath, feel your breath happening right now. That's happening right now. You know what I mean? And then use your eyes. A
mhm,
lot like the eyes are the doorway that opens up the door to the present, right? So if you can see what's happening right here, yeah, you're here. Most of the time, we don't even see what's here. We're gone in our head. And so, yeah, this is for everyone. I mean, you start with that. Because
mhm,
if we don't start with what's important now, we're going to already be thinking about stuff that we have no control over. That's one of the biggest things that takes away people's confidence, is trying to do things they can't control. And it makes them stressed out. It makes them kind of fragile, like they crack. You know what I mean? They'll like kind of
mhm,
when things don't go their way, they crack. And so that's to me, that's always the foundation,
mhm,
And then of course, being present is second. Well, we better be here. Yeah. So that doesn't change with anybody. I mean, every human.
mhm.
You know what I mean?
That's the thing I see. Yes, absolutely. So
Yeah.
okay, so keeping those things in tap, the basic things that you said, yet very important things that most of us, you can say, oversee. So, like, let's keep the time frame from when we are talking, the past thing and the current state. I'm talking
Okay.
about the two different. I'm asking these questions from someone who is very much interested and invested into NBA as a game, and the things
Yeah.
go on the backstage of it. So let's consider, let's say, so back in the days, there were attention to the game, but if you compare that attention, the sort of other stuff that comes along with the main part of the game, there are a lot of distractions. There are a lot of influence of other things.
Of
There are
course.
a lot of uncontrollable things that even you can say crash up into your controllables. You can see the book came, I think, in 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Man,
that's
10 years. That's wild. 10 years ago.
that
That's
10
crazy.
years has been great time. Yeah. So now we are in 2025. That's 10 year ahead of the book. So recently what has been since the time I have been covering and actively monitoring what's happening on and off the court, there's more involvement of controversies, influence of music, beef with players, you can say, shoe deals, social media, and etc. These are the tiny bits of pointers that we can say has a lot to do with how players think and how they have to manage their mental health while keeping at the very top of their athletic level on the court.
Yeah.
So, what has changed in the approach of you as a mindset coach and in the approach of athletes that reach out to you? Like, what sort of like questions, let's say, or the feeling of emptiness, shatterness, whatever they feel back then and in the most recent days? I think that might be a longer question, but as far as we are keeping the context, that would be great.
Man, I mean, probably just the invent of social media, just all, like how big everything is now is
Mhm,
probably different. I mean, 10 years ago it was still there, but there's just seems to be like more distractions today, and so with more distractions comes it's always the same what I teach, right? These principles have passed the test of time,
mhm,
and so they're almost like more important than ever. Is like really focusing on what you can control. I would say a big one that I work on now more than perhaps 10 years ago is acceptance. Like you have to accept all the things that are out of your control. Like really train that and practice that because that's I think for all of us, in the human experience, that's a super important one. But it seems like nowadays with so much stuff going on, media wise and outside, that like the acceptance is like
mhm,
it's a big one, and it's not necessarily easy. But again, it just like it provides a lot of relief when I help athletes out for that. When you go, hey, look, just accept the results, accept whatever's going on out of your control, other people's opinions, other stuff like that. And it takes courage to accept. It really does. It can be challenging, but I would
mhm,
say that that's probably the big one that I work on more than anything. And it might probably was needed to be trained back in the day. It wasn't even really on my radar as much as it has been the last like few years where I was like, wow, really acceptance is the one
mhm,
that allows you to be more in present, more in flow, and then you don't get just caught up in stuff that has nothing to do with you or,
mhm.
outside of you. So I would probably say acceptance. It's probably a big one.
Absolutely. So this brings me to the thing I can see that you have been with Jalen Brown since his initial days. I guess he was some 13 or 14 years old back in his
Yeah,
earlier
like a
days.
sophomore in high school. Yeah,
Mhm.
sure, man.
And in the last years of championship 2024, when there was a thing going on with the NBA Finals MVP and sort of stuff. So I just wanted to hear about those things, like how those things
Oh
influence
yeah.
players' mindset, and for the next season, obviously they have a little bit of gap, quite a bit of gap for the next season after the finals are over. So just I wanted to know your approach, like how should they like tackle those things, how they get back to their basics and or do and redo all the initial things. This would be for the this year's draft players as well, who will be coming by this season or the next season, the younger ones who might
Yeah.
face a similar situation in the future. So what would be the approach and what would be the best thing to keep along the line?
Man,
Mhm,
this might say it's always the same thing.
mhm,
If you listen, first of all, Jalen is just an amazing human being. And, once players start to get to a certain level of stardom and they're
mhm,
doing their thing, like NBA players, like, they kind of live their own lives, man. They're a very unique kind of athlete. I think the thing with him was he was just curious about this stuff when he was young, and that was rare. That was really really rare, and he took it to heart and practiced this stuff, and he's worked with so many great coaches, so many great teachers. I'm definitely not the only one who's worked with him. There's been so many, and he just took it and really ran with it and practiced it. So by the time, when you hear him in the NBA finals, if you listen to some videos of him talking, they'll ask him questions about, hey, are you going to win the next game? And he'll just smile and be like, oh, I'm just present, I'm just here. And it's almost like they don't even know what to ask him after that,
mhm,
right? Because he's like, I'm not going to talk about the future. That's irrelevant to me. I'm here. And he just focuses on his breath. Like he has taken breath work to a super deep level. He's worked with some incredible coaches who have taught him amazing things. So I look at like him as someone who was always curious about this, and then he had the will to kind of work on this. And with being present is a lifetime's work, right? So if you learn it at 15, you're 28, 29 years old, you're still just getting started, and so this will be something everyone works on all the time, because I don't know anyone that's mastered this, that is just sitting in like a blissful state of deep presence, especially with all the stuff going on. So I just look at him as someone who got involved in this proactively, as opposed to I'm in a crisis. Now I need to like maybe ask for help. It's like I've been practicing this since I was 15. So I don't really ask for help because I'm just using the skills. And he's such a great model for kids. He's such a
Absolutely.
great model for people to look at. And so they can say, hey, when I'm 14 or 15 or 12 or 11, let's start practicing this stuff, even if it doesn't make sense. That's the key. Because by the time it makes sense, oftentimes it's kind of late, and so you want to, I mean, whenever you work on this is good, but he's just such an amazing example of someone who like works on this when he was young. And so you see him in these high pressure moments and just listening to his language, he's like, just breathe, play with confidence, trust, keep going, lean into it. Like he'll say, lean in, which is basically be uncomfortable and lean into it. Never is he saying we have to get a result, or we have like you got to make the shot. I'm not saying that at all because that's not in your control. So he's highly skilled, and you can tell when someone's highly skilled. One, their energy when they're present, you can feel it,
Hmm.
and the language they use.
Sure.
The language they use. Even if you look at like OKC this year, I haven't worked with any of them, but they just say, "Hey, let's be where our feet are." That's what their coach says, and it's really impressive how they do that as a team. So when you see someone just using the language and talking about it, like it's part of their skill set and they just bring it about. So that's what I noticed about Jalen is I mean, he really is centered. He really is present, you know,
Absolutely.
but he's been practicing for sheesh, like 10, like at least 10 years. So it's not like you read a book one month and the next month you've mastered this or something
Mhm.
like that,
Yeah,
you know?
practically it's really hard. But yeah, over the
Yeah, but
time,
he's a great one, man. He's a great human being. And my goal always for trying to help players with this is that they would share it with the world so then other kids would do it because they're so influential and people look up to them. And if hey, they're working on being present,
mhm,
they're working on breathing, then maybe that'll help other kids do it as well.
yeah,
That's the
mhm,
whole goal. That's the
absolutely.
whole point of all this. Winning basketball games is cool. All that is cool, but it's always just so a kid goes, "Oh, this is something I should practice." Got it. Like, maybe you look up to players and so you're like, oh, if I see what they're doing, sheesh, maybe I'll do it too. And now it's cool. Now it's cool to be present, maybe cool to breathe. It's like a thing to do.
Mhm.
And so he's just like a great role model for that, man. Just impressive.
Yeah, that's what shows up in his play. He is hell of a player, but yet content in what he's doing and being in the present. And whenever he speaks, it seems like he don't need to do any homework or sort of think through what he has to talk. He is being saying his things, being fully present, and knowing what he has to say, knowing his things basically, the way
Uh,
he approaches the questions. That's really great.
what a special human being, man. What a great person for all of us to like model after and to like really,
Absolutely, sir.
for sure.
Mhm. So on to the next one. I guess I'm not taking that much of time for your daily routine and sort of stuff.
You're doing great.
Yeah. So this is specifically for the younger players who are coming. As I said, the NBA draft ones. We saw many of the great players making a debut this year, and there will be more of such players making debut the following years. So there is a lot of different shifts from the high school time they play and when they come to the NBA, the real game, and you can say the summer league as well. So when they move from the college thing to the pro thing, what I don't think that there should be 2 or 3 checklists that they do and they're good to go. There should be a central mantra, you can say, or the central
Yeah.
thing that they should focus while making such big transition, because players are coming from like different places and they're getting into the same league. So what would be your advice for such young players that they should opt for while transitioning into the pro league?
Yeah. Something like anytime you level up in life, it could be from middle school to high
Mhm,
school to college, college to pro. I've noticed there's a tendency to try to be perfect, right? To not make mistakes. And there's just a natural tendency to like focus on outcomes. Maybe after you get a big contract, that happens as well too. Or, your first time playing in a big game in the finals, there's a tendency to go, "Oh, we got to win." Right? It happens so quickly, and all of a sudden, is winning in our control? No, not at all. Right? So every time you kind of level up, there's a whole new opportunity to just bring it back to the basics of, hey, what's actually in my control? Right? You see how acceptance comes in here?
mhm,
Instead of going, oh my God, like I'm in summer league now, I got to dominate. No, no, no. You got to be present and trust. You got to accept. And so I've noticed that for all of us, like let's say for you in your own life, or any of us, like we get to a new level or a new promotion or a new thing, there's a natural reaction to try to like control results after that. So I always just remind people, bring it back to the basics every level you move up. What's actually in my control still? And that's going to feel uncomfortable,
mhm.
right? So there's a saying, comfortable being uncomfortable, right? And you have to embrace that and still bring it back to what's important now. And then another one, Atish, is victory to the vulnerable. Victory to the vulnerable means when you feel vulnerable and you feel uncomfortable, and that happens when you level up, embrace it. Embrace that vulnerability. And then you trust your mental skills. You go, I feel uncomfortable. What's in my control right now? Okay, I'm going to be present. I'm going to trust my skills and accept the results. Is there anything else I can do? No, nothing. And so you work on total devotion to that. If there was something more you could do besides be present and fully trust what's in your control, but there isn't. And so it's about embracing when you come to a new level, though, you're going to feel different. You feel uncomfortable, you feel vulnerable. And usually that's when your mind races, right? Your mind's racing, trying to control, to make it happen, to make it all perfect. And you got to accept that. And it's called mindfulness, right? You just go, oh, look at those thoughts. I'm going to observe those thoughts.
Mhm.
I'm not the thoughts, I'm the observer. I'm going to let those thoughts be there and I'm going to bring myself back to where my feet are and then just trust my skills. And that takes courage, man.
Absolutely.
Oh, I mean, it's uncomfortable, But then again, if you're mentally skilled, you recognize, like if we lift weights and we get uncomfortable, that's a strength, right? That's how you grow. It's the same thing mentally. It's the same thing. So if you allow yourself to get a little uncomfortable,
Mhm.
you think about what's important now, right? That'll save your ass so many times. Oh, wait, what's actually in my control right now? Boom, come back, play present. And if you're not present, choose your response, palms down, next play speed, right? Come back and then tap. Trust, accept, and be present. So every time you level up, it's like harder, but the more you can practice it every time you level up, it'll become easier. And then you can do another level and another level. But it's way normal for it to feel uncomfortable. And then sometimes you go back to your like, I got to make sure my results are, how am I going to feed my family? And you got to go, whoa, whoa, I got to bring it back to what's going on right now. So that's what I notice when people move up every
Mhm.
level. It's like, bring it back to the basics. First of all, congratulations, you're uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Congratulations, you're feeling vulnerable because that means you're on a new level. I think sometimes it's a surprise that they feel like that because mental skills, whatever level you're on, you work them and they work then. As soon as you get to another level, you have to re up your mental skills, right? They're like, oh my God, I thought I would never feel uncomfortable again. I'm like, no, you're growing. You're always going to get up with a goal is, yeah, of course you get uncomfortable. That's growth. And then you got to upgrade your mental skills. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's more weight. It's like lifting weights and the weights get easy. So what do? Add more weights. So
Right.
it's a new challenge, right? So the same thing with mindset. Same thing.
That's the real showing of that we are getting stronger. Actually, yeah, this was more of my personal question as well as like being a writer for so long. I have been, you can say, promoted to content head. So other than the writing thing, I have a lot of other things, managing people, getting into new role, being answerable to the higher ups, the people in the editorial team, to the owners and everything that they see the writers whom I've been working as my team. So I'll be answerable for their deeds as well. So this is you can say shape shifting transition for me, being a writer, like doing my own stuff, doing my articles and research and reading a lot of news and everything. But now I'm a content head, so I have to take care of more of the things that I have not done in the past. So this was more of my personal question as well. So how to like transition and cope up with the things when you get one level up. That's what.
First of all, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
And then you feel more pressure, right? You feel it.
Hmm.
Like you feel like there's more responsibility, there's more things. And if you're feeling that pressure and you're passing it to your writers,
Hmm.
you're just going to make them feel the pressure. And then they're going to write like that. So, as the leader, as a coach or the leader, you modeling the behavior of full trust, full acceptance, full presence. That's what everyone's craving on a deep level. This isn't even what you're saying or the words coming out of your mouth. This is literally your presence. If you're relaxed and calm under pressure and you're talking to your writers and you're like, look, I know we have bosses. I know we have deadlines. I know we have all that, but all I want you to do is trust your writing skills. Trust it. Accept all the stuff out of our control. And I want you to be present with your work and really go for it. They're going to be like, thank you. Thank you. Because you're setting them free. Right. And then, ironically, that's when they'll perform at their best. But you have to have the courage to go, hey, we don't know what the results are going to be.
Hmm.
Even if the people above you are like, hey, you better get this result, this better happen, that better happen. You have to process that as a leader and go, okay, I'm not going to pass that energy to my team. So I want you to think of the word CEO. You've
Hmm.
you've heard of CEO before.
Hmm. Hmm.
In this context, it stands for Conscious Energy Officer, meaning really you're a leader of your energy. And so whatever energy you're passing to the group around you, to your team, they're going to feel it. If I was like, Nitish, make sure you make the article perfect and don't fuck it up, right? I'm passing you
Hmm.
frantic energy. I'm passing you reactionary energy. And that's not the best for you. That's not going to help you. And if I was like, hey, Nitish, go trust your writing skills today, brother. Go for it. Trust all your prep. Whatever happens after this, accept it. I want you to be fully present while we're doing the interview. You
Hmm.
got to do that. But after that, man, I don't care. That's a win. Go
Hmm.
enjoy yourself. Whoa,
Great.
you might write the best you've ever written in your life, right?
Yeah.
So you as the leader, it's about, this the palms down. Yes, you're going to have deadlines, you're going to have all these things. There's pressure to win, right? Of course. But you can remember shift that pressure, shift the energy. And as a conscious energy officer, as a leader, you start to pass that to your group. It's amazing what happens. Now, sometimes we have to crash and burn before we figure that out,
Hmm.
right? You got to be like, wow, I was passing this energy around. That doesn't work, right? And then you learn, oh, okay, I got to actually take my breaths before responding, right? I don't react. I
I
respond.
respond.
I take a
I go
breath
back.
and I move on. You see how that works,
Yeah,
right?
I can see the whole thing coming into one pair, and they are working together, combined through each other. And
That's
that's.
how it works. And when you have it musically, there's
Hmm.
a rhythm to it. So you could be in a moment where you feel this, right? We're all human. We feel this. And you go, wait, wait.
Hmm.
Instead of just going to your writer, you go, I don't react. I respond.
Respond.
I take a breath and I move on. And then take your breath. We call one of the basic breaths is called a 4-7-8. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and then slowly breathe out for 8 seconds. Do that 2 or 3 times. It'll take you less than a minute and watch what happens. You will completely shift the energy. Completely. Then go respond to your writers. Then go say whatever you're going to say. Right. And then everyone you lead is going to be like, yeah, right on. Okay. You still have to do the same work. You still have to perform, but it's
Hmm.
from a whole different energy. So I'll send you the song 478. It's another song.
Yeah,
It just
sure.
gives you a basic tool and it is super. I mean, go watch really good athletes. What do they do at the free throw line, sideline out of bounds, baseline out of bounds, before they shoot free throws? And the ones who are really good at it, they're always focusing on their breath. You never
Hmm.
know. Because from the
Yeah.
outside, it's tough to tell. But when you start to concentrate on your breath and you can find that flow, ooh, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
absolutely. Yeah, I've noticed Kobe doing these breathing before making the free throw a lot of times.
And his mental performance coach was George Mumford,
Hmm.
and George Mumford is a legend. He's written 2 books, The Mindful Athlete and Unlock, just a good friend and an extraordinary coach, like a mindfulness expert, and he got to teach that to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. And it's just like, it's incredible to see. Now, they were also super motivated to do this work.
Mhm.
I mean, they're driven, So yeah, the energy which with you lead your team is really, really important. You're essentially creating a psychologically safe situation for those you lead to go for it, to like really go for it. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense than I have been reading and going through things. I have a better clarity of it. So
absolutely. Yeah,
like,
dude. It's remember, this is a practice, man.
mhm,
This isn't like none of this is a quick fix. That's why I call them mental skills. It's a skill. Say if you're working on dribbling, you don't work on that for an hour and you're done. It's your whole life. If you're working on a shot, that's
mhm,
every day. So if you're working on being present, hey, that's every day, man. I said and some days hard, some days easier, right? You find different flows, but this is a practice and nobody's perfect at this stuff, Nitish. Nobody is. And that helps too. There's no perfection in this,
that,
you know,
that
because
now
that makes
makes a lot
people
of
feel
sense.
pressure too. Perfection
Mhm.
makes people feel pressure.
Like a little bit of fear of if I'm gonna deliver the things I have been expected of or not. But yeah, at the end of the day, we'll have to trust that I've been, you can say, judged upon the things that I've done in my past. That's why I'm here, and I have to do all those things repeatedly, but at a different level, but keeping the same approach going forward. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been good at.
See, now you're talking about great discipline,
Hmm.
right? Once you know the mental skills, I like to say you want to become a black belt in
Hmm.
mental skill, right? The highest level of martial arts is a black belt. And you can become a black belt in mental skills, which just means you know how to do it in any situation. You could be like, I'm really uncomfortable. There's magnificent pressure here, and I'm going to operate with my mental skills. Like a white belt would do it when they feel like doing it, right? Or when they feel good, they do it. When they don't feel good, they bail. A black belt does it in all situations. And so this is the important one. It's more about devotion than motivation. Motivation is not very powerful, right? Motivation comes and goes. So if you only do something when you're motivated, by definition, you're not going to do it very often. Devotion means you do it every day, no matter what, right?
Hmm.
So devotion is the superpower. And we like to say devotion beats motivation every day, because if someone says, I'm not motivated, you're like, well, first of all, that's like a powerless expression because it's making it seem like something outside of you is the thing that makes you go.
Hmm.
Devotion is, okay, I'm going to go do it. And I don't feel like doing it at all. But you know how you feel when you are devoted? You feel amazing after. So it's like the greatest feeling. Devotion is the sweetest emotion, but it comes after you do the work, not before. Motivation is you need it before. Devotion is I'm going to do it and I get it after. It's like a different kind of investor. You're like an energy investor.
Hmm.
Devote yourself to it. You get big rewards on the back end.
Absolutely. I'm up for it. I've been making a lot of changes, and these bits of mental things, like making it a lot easier for me as a person, as a professional, and been doing whatever I've been doing for long. So I think the meeting would end up after 1 minute 33 seconds. Let me create another meeting on Zoom because this is the quota
Okay.
for the free one. I just
Yeah.
have one important question and your guidance as well. And from there off,
Yeah. Let's
we'll
get off this. Send me another Zoom link and I'll hop right back on.
yeah, sure. That's really good. Thank you. I'm sending
Okay. See
that
you in a
right
sec.
away.
Cool.
Sure. Thanks.